Today is the 20th of February, 2015. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley, and it's Friday.
Yes, it is. I'm Kim Best, and thank you for joining us. Happy Friday.
I didn't mean to step on you there, I'm excited that it's Friday.
I agree. I love a Friday.
I do too. You doing okay?
I'm doing fantastic.
Great.
I certainly am.
You know, tonight, every Friday, the Senior Center offers a movie, and the movie this afternoon begins at 2 p.m. It's called Blind Date. This is a Kim Basinger movie.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Bruce Willis. Bruno his friend. Bruce plays a guy named Walter who invites a beautiful Southern belle named Nadia. Is that a Southern name?
Doesn't sound like it at all to me.
She must be from Southern Russia.
That's what I think.
Anyway, she's Nadia. They've been invited to a button-down corporate dinner, expecting to impress his associates with a dazzling beauty. But she has one too many, as they say, and reduces the evening and Walter's career to shambles. It sounds like a funny movie.
My goodness.
So it should be pretty good there. Anyway, that's at 2 o'clock today at the Senior Center. Blind Date, it's called. And then tonight at the Senior Center, we're going to be rocking, we're going to be rolling. It is the Senior Dance Rockin' in the 50s.
That's fantastic.
Back when music was real music.
I hear you.
Pardon me.
I hear you.
Yeah, I'm a bit biased.
Yeah. Just a little.
Well,
also tonight, more music being offered here in the community. There's a free jazz concert at the Arts Council tonight from 7 to 9. Eric's Xavier Band.
Aha!
At the Arts Council of Wayne County.
This is a free
jazz concert.
Man.
So we have all kinds of things happening around.
Right.
Yeah, this is for any age.
And what time does it start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 to 9.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds good. The Literacy Connection offers so much help for so many people. Everything is kept confidential. If you have a problem with reading, and you know, the times that we've talked to the folks at the Literacy Connection, they tell us people from all walks of life with all kinds of education come in looking for help. They come in looking for help. Now, they may be a situation of dyslexia. They could be just a problem with reading.
Right.
Anything, any problem at all, they can help you with it. Not only reading, but with math, with computers, with all kinds of things. Banking, if you have a problem with banking, you don't know.
It's free.
It is free. You don't know how to write a check. You don't know how to open a checking account. You don't know how to open a savings account. Things that many people take for granted and seem to be so simple. Some people have a problem with this.
Exactly right.
Well, the Literacy Connection on East Ash Street, it's at 2001 East Ash Street, can help you. That's simple.
Fantastic.
It is.
Did you know that the building, it's over on Ash Street Extension, it was the old Pizza Inn building, is now Gray Fox Theater?
Yes.
It is the Gray Fox Theater.
I knew about that.
And tomorrow night, Saturday night, the Gray Fox Theater will be holding, let's see, I believe it's country and rock music. It's called Louis Waymore will be performing. Louis Waymore, country and rock at the Gray Fox Theater.
There you go.
From 7:30 until 10. So we'll have to check that out this Saturday. Gray Fox Theater.
The Gray Fox is between Berkeley and 70 Bypass.
Right.
It's near Greenwood Middle School. It's the old Pizza Inn location there. They have taken it and refurbished it, and it is a classy place. It's really nice.
Yep. They'll be having, I think, different people every weekend.
Yeah.
So this Saturday night, some country and some rock, Louis Waymore will be performing.
It's a great place to go visit, and they kind of snuck in on us there.
Yeah.
They didn't tell anybody. They just opened up, and it's the old story of build it and they will come. Well, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
Exactly
and they did, and it is, and they do.
Well, and we'll see, we'll try to advertise and give you more information about that as we learn more about the Gray Fox Theater.
Yeah.
But anytime we can talk more about things that are happening in our community, events that are taking place, interesting tidbits of information we're trying to share with you and make sure you know what's happening right here locally.
That's right.
For all ages.
That's exactly right. So if you know of something happening, we'd like to hear about it, we can talk about it. If you have a nonprofit organization and you're going to have an event, we'd certainly like to know about it. You just want to tell people about your organization.
That's right.
Drop us a line at WGTV@WayneGov.com. That's our email, WGTV@WayneGov.com.
So try to get it to us at least 2 weeks before your event is taking place.
Got to have it 2
so
weeks.
we can share it and make sure that we get the word out.
Exactly right. All right.
I believe at the Senior Center, you've also got some caregiver classes that will be taking place 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. and I think they will be taking place today, maybe.
They do
We'll let you know more for
everything,
sure.
everything at the senior center. We're going to go to our interviews here, okay?
We'll be right back.
All right. Our guest in the studio today, we want to welcome back Dr. Stephen Peters. Dr. Peters is the head of psychology at Cherry Hospital.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
man.
Hey, good to be here, Wayne.
I am so glad you're back in here.
Thank you.
We haven't seen you since before the holidays.
Right, yeah, it's been a
hope your
while.
holidays were good and all that.
Sure was.
Excellent.
Good times.
All right. We have a lot to talk about. Want to get right into it. You were telling me before we started about an article you had read on, we were talking about weight, and
Yes.
of course, which is comes hand in hand with the holidays and people overdoing it a bit.
Oh, yeah. Easy to do.
But in a different sort of way, tell me about what we were talking about.
A major study, research article about really more about activity and being an active person. And I think it came out of England. Some folks may have heard it in the news. People who are overweight, and even to the point of being obese, the challenge, of course, for that group is to get active, exercising.
Right.
And they found in this study that the real factor for those folks is indeed being active, not the weight loss per se. That a lot of folks who struggle with weight kind of get discouraged in the physical exercise.
Yes.
It's hard to do, you're carrying some extra weight, it's challenging, and if you don't see the weight change, you're not dropping off the pounds, you get discouraged, and so you quit. But if you can stay active, that's really the common denominator. The most important thing is to be active. That active obese people live longer than passive obese people. It's that passivity, the inactivity, is really the factor that they identified. And so it's really whether you're thin, in between, or very heavy, it's about being active. It is what's really healthy.
I think we've all seen people who are indeed overweight to the point of being obese, and they seem to be able to move quickly.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason comes to mind.
Look at some of the big linemen in pro football.
Exactly, yeah.
Coming from Chicago, we used to get a big kick out of Fridge Perry.
Yeah.
Refrigerator.
Refrigerator
It was
Perry.
big as a refrigerator.
Yeah.
And I can still remember the time he picked up Walter Payton and tried to throw him across the goal line. And he could dunk a basketball.
Yeah, and he was that athletically inclined, but he was at the same time he was a very large man.
Yeah, I mean as big as a refrigerator, but a very active guy.
So the study said, as long as you are active, that is a big plus.
Don't worry about what the scale says about you. That's not as much of a health indicator as how active you are. And what they concluded, and kind of what, because I think this was their benchmark, is they were saying 20 minutes a day, kind of looking for that 150-minute week where you need to be more active. And increasing your activity level is directly tied to longevity. It wasn't just some obscure idea about, well, you're healthier, or you're going to feel better, or whatever indicator that somebody would define. The numbers say you live longer if you're physically active.
So we're not pointing at weight loss. We're specifically talking about being healthy or living longer.
Yeah, about living longer, and that it's physical activity has more to do with increasing your longevity than whatever weight you might be carrying. And carrying a lot of weight's not good for you, but being passive is almost worse for you.
So they're saying, if I understand this right, that indeed that they're not condoning the extra weight. They're not condoning
not
being
good for you.
overweight.
Yeah.
It's just not good for you.
Yeah.
But you can live longer if you are active and overweight.
Much better for you is somehow to get active, and whether that means going for a walk, so whatever you can do.
Of course, now if you are active, then that should help in weight reduction.
It's that direct proportion, calories in, calorie burn.
Yeah.
You know, the more you exercise, I mean, it could spike up your appetite.
Yeah.
Because you are burning a lot of calories, maybe. And so eating healthy, I mean, I think for young folks who exercise, they want those calorie protein shakes because they need the calories. They're burning it like a hummingbird.
But what is the trigger? Why do people, even people who know that, hey, I can't eat this because I'm trying to lose weight, or I shouldn't eat this. What's the trigger that makes people eat?
And most of the, well, there are a lot of things in terms of triggering to make people eat it. For us, particularly here in the South, as we were saying before the show, it's all that comfort food we have. The deep fried macaroni and cheese. It's pretty good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But it's probably not that healthy for you. All the holiday food. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know if we've researched that.
Right.
But maybe there's grant money we could look at to see if we could study that. I think we could get some volunteers.
Oh, definitely.
It's really to all that overeating in the name of socializing with friends and family, to just seeking comfort by yourself. That food is not the best for you. Somehow we've connected in our head to being the most comforting and soothing, and makes you feel better when you eat it.
Now we're talking about not necessarily you're being hungry.
Right.
We're not talking about hunger.
Right,
of course,
not.
people who are hungry need something to eat anyway.
Right,
but
right.
we're not talking. We're talking about something that happens to you if you see a pie, if you see something,
And
or if
some of
you're
those
just thinking
temptations,
about it.
Yeah, and it's habit. It's
Habit.
bad habits, and some self-discipline.
Yeah.
A lot of it's hard for us as people to think about discipline ourselves and watching and that what we can do, what we can't do. It's easy to be sort of unbridled, and that I can eat what I want to eat, and it's just if I want it or not. We live in a land of plenty, and so you're not going to be very far from a drive-through.
And that's another can of worms right there.
It's so handy. It's so
is.
easy.
It is.
And to get another 1,000 calories in you just on the way home. And so you can have supper that night.
But the problem is you're not walking home.
Yeah, exactly.
You're driving
riding
home.
that bicycle.
Or riding the bicycle home.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, and then you're going to have a big supper.
When you get home, then you eat.
Yeah, then you eat. Just an appetizer.
Yeah.
Just so I don't get too hungry. But it's making some better choices about your diet, which is kind of that challenge. Finding other activities besides food, talking to a friend, whatever you can do to distract yourself, and something more active. Go for a walk. I'm getting to thinking that in my neighborhood out, there's a lot of folks just walking. In the morning, in the evening. It's kind of an easy way to get started, I think.
What do you have to do to make that happen unconsciously?
Yeah. Well, and I think looking into
or subconscious.
Because sometimes it is subconscious, where we really aren't thinking about something happened. This time it's working for me.
Yeah.
It's like smoking, other bad habits that we have. What's the main ingredient in habit change? Interesting enough, it's not bad outcome. If it was, well, bad things happen to you. If you don't stop doing that, something horrible is going to happen. Well, that doesn't deter you. People who are diabetic lose limbs. Alcoholics lose jobs and go to jail and kill people on the road. People eat too much, and it says, well, you're going to have another heart attack. Well, okay, I'll be here in October then. Bad outcomes don't change you, because people do experience, unfortunately, they experience over and over again all these sort of bad consequences. So the fear of consequence may deter some of us if you're not there yet, sort of the mild version of this, to think, well, gosh, I don't want to die of a heart attack when I'm 35, so maybe I'll try to be a little healthier. Maybe some of that helps. For more people, it seems to be a variety of other factors where you make that conscious decision. The research on smoking and smoking cessation, how come some people can just stop, and then some people struggle with that maybe all of their life? The idea that it's easy to get to, where people say, oh, I can stop. I stop smoking all the time. I stop every week.
That's right. That's what Mark Twain said. It's easy to do. I've done it 1,000 times.
Exactly. Yeah. But of all the different factors that may contribute to that success story, what do people say? Well, what did it for you this time when you finally stopped? What was it? And what that research tells you is a conscious, deliberate decision. I've decided I'm not going to be a smoker anymore. I'm not going to be an overeater. You know, you've redefined yourself.
Yes.
And whatever that was in your mentality that made you stop and change the way you think about yourself, and maybe it was some bad outcomes. Maybe it was hearing about some bad outcomes of other people. Maybe it was some other ambition that you have or something else on the positive side. You know, positive change, positive outcomes affects us a lot more than negative consequence. Somebody that wants a goal, has a goal set and wants to go, you know, whatever that target might be, but then makes that conscious, deliberate decision to change their ways.
You have to have that willpower.
Yeah,
you have to.
And we like to say, well, it's not about willpower. You know what? It's about willpower. It's a big factor.
It is.
It isn't just about willpower. Yeah, you need to not have temptation in front of you. You need to get by the drive-through cheeseburger. You need some encouragement, support. You need a partner in this. For a lot of people, it's having a partner in it who's sort of cheering you on and in it with you. That's, for a lot of folks, that's a factor.
Right.
And there are probably a lot of these factors. You know, people are so different. For everybody, for every success story, there is another formula that worked for that person.
Mm-hmm.
But that sort of willful decision, because I decided from now on, this is how I'm going to be, that's a really big contributing factor, part of the equation, if you will, for a lot of people. And it seems to be, more often than not, what does it for a lot of people.
So, bottom line is focus.
Yes.
Work on that willpower.
And then set some deliberate goals.
Set some goals.
Let other folks know about those goals, folks that can hopefully support you in accomplishing that target goal.
All right.
Which
Does it help to write it down?
I'm sure it does, probably in several places.
Okay.
But whatever works for that person. Try all of the above. Try everything. I think people who get creative and find that, yes, this helped me, you know, and they kind of struggle with an issue and then suddenly found that if I did this, that helped me be more successful.
You know, although we all have similar thinkings and we're all made in a similar fashion, we're all individual people, and what affects one person one way may not affect another person another way.
And so you try different things. You find out what is going to work for you. Okay. And if you say, well, I've tried 1,000 times, but I've always done the same thing. Yeah. Well, that 1,001 time, let's try it another way.
Another way. Try something different.
And if that doesn't work, try something else. And then maybe try all three ways. Mm-hmm. And maybe that helps more. Yeah. And so to get creative and pull other people into this equation, I think that's ultimately is what helps a lot of people.
All right. Stay focused.
Yes.
All right. Dr. Steve Peters is the head of psychology at Cherry Hospital, and I thank you for coming in.
Always good to be here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the Paramount Theater. I'm Sherry Archibald here in the boardroom preparing for an event that's coming up in March, Cheaper by the Dozen. We're very excited to have Center Stage Theater back on the stage again. We've got our event, I'm looking at just to remind me of the dates, March 6th, 7th, and 8th. And so I'm very excited to have Doc and Judine Heidicker here. And also, I wanted to call you Christy because you look so much like your mom, but MacKenzie Malham. So good to have you guys here. A few characters for this show, and it is coming up early March. So let's talk a little bit about this event, Cheaper by the Dozen. I think probably most of our viewers are going to think of that Steve Martin movie when they hear this. So this, of course, you guys are playing mom and dad. You were playing daughter Ernestine. Let's talk about the difference of what folks should be expecting when they come to see this production.
Well, it's based on the 1950s film, Cheaper by the Dozen, which of course is based on the book, and written by two of the children. So it's a real in-depth look at this family with a dozen kids.
Because it is based on a true story.
Based on a true story. With a dad who's completely out of control, trying to organize every little aspect of people's lives, make all his kids geniuses. But it's a heartwarming family story about family interaction. So it's sad and happy and, you know, and a great play to take the kids to also. But the Steve Martin, from what I remember, That's just kind of slapstick, and I'm not sure there's much relation between the Steve Martin and what we're doing.
There is a lot of goofiness in that movie, and of course, anytime you have Steve Martin, it is. So it is interesting. But I think it's really nice to just point out, as you said, it's life. It's, you know, the craziness of schedules. It's trying to make sure that your kids are able to handle everything that needs to be done in order for them to be the success that, as dad and mom, you want them to be. So how long has it been since you guys have been in a production? I know that we talked about this a little bit by phone, and Judine, I was going to talk to you a little bit about your return to the stage.
This is not a return. This is a this is an initiation, isn't it? By fire, I think.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Well,
he was very excited, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" I think I'm going to be sick.
Your first time auditioning, and you got one of the lead roles, obviously, which was Mom. And how are you two preparing? Of course, are you at home preparing and reading lines and getting ready for this?
We will be, yeah. We will be, especially now that time is short and the water rises.
Yes.
So we definitely will be, and it's a lot, but we can do it.
Yeah, he has a lot more lines than I do.
Okay.
He's in many, many, many more scenes, and I think one of the most fun parts is the interaction of the three oldest girls, and that's really fun, and I think the audience will get a real big kick out of that, because they're in an age where they want to grow up, and Dad just doesn't want them to grow up, and he doesn't understand the changes that are happening.
And I'm assuming, MacKenzie, you'll be part of that.
Yes, I am the second oldest. I have one older sister, her name's Anne, who's played by Becca, and then I have a younger sister, who's Martha, who's played by Elena.
So tell me about your role. What intrigued you about this particular role?
Well, I originally auditioned for the eldest because I didn't think I could play a 15-year-old, but we all play it pretty well. We just have a lot of fun. And the two girls that I'm playing with, we've actually become like family since we do play sisters, and every scene we're all together and we just kid around and we joke. But throughout the beginning of the show, we're kind of defined. We want to grow up, we want to go on dates and have dances and go to the movies and have ice cream sodas with the boys at the drugstore, but Dad's just not having it. But we end up getting our way.
Eventually, huh? Well, I think some of the things you just said are really good to point out, because as you said, we're talking about the 1950s. And so the things that the girls wanted to do are different then as they are now. So what a great family night out for the kids to come and just be, remembering that era and thinking about the way that it was for Mom and Dad and for the kids, and trying to really face the same type of struggles for a teenager, just with a different world, around you. So, well, I'm excited, Judine, I must say. I'm excited to see you here, and I'm sure that you're going to embrace the role and have a great time. It's one of the things I've certainly seen about Center Stage Theater, as well as Stage Struck, that it's community theater here, but you guys are so much family. The fabric is just woven together, and you all become very close. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to do something fun, to really test the waters sometimes, and to really just create a bond that you continue to have for a very long time. So we're looking forward to having you guys back. That event, again, is March the 6th, 7th, and 8th. On Friday and Saturday night, it is at 7:30, and on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Those tickets are available here at the Paramount Theater at 919-583-8432, or you can go on our website at goldsboroparamount.com. Also, if you want more information about this wonderful organization, Center Stage Theater, you can look at their website, which is cstheater, that's with an RE.org. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television.
That's exactly right.
You had information?
Yeah, the caregiver classes will be taking place. It's not today. It is this coming Tuesday, the 24th, at Senior Center from 5:30 until 6:30, giving you lots of information and training on how to take care of seniors and geriatrics.
Jerry who?
Atrix. That's who it is.
Very good. You're quick. You're quick. All right. Birthdays today.
Yes.
Gloria Vanderbilt is having a
All
birthday
right.
today.
How old is she?
She's 91.
Good gracious.
And her son, what's his name? Anderson Cooper.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Anyway, she is 91 today, fashion designer, born this day, 1924. Birthday
Wow.
today for Sidney Poitier.
Yes.
Sidney Poitier. Guess who's
You
coming
love
to
to
dinner?
say his name.
I do. Poitier. Anyway, director and all that kind of stuff. He's 88 today. Nancy Wilson, the singer, the actress, she's 78. Richard Bamer. Now, he was on Twin Peaks. He played Benjamin. He was on Murder, She Wrote, several characters. He was in West Side Story years ago. He played Tony. He's 77 today. Sandy Duncan having a birthday.
How old is she?
Singer, dancer. She is 69 years today.
You know, she played Peter Pan.
She did.
She was young.
Yes, she did. One of my favorite actors, you don't hear much from Peter Strauss now, but he was in Rich Man, Poor Man. He was in Maloney, the detective. He was in Body and Soul. Dr. Isaac Braun he played, but he is a very talented man, and he's 68 years today.
Fantastic.
Actress Jennifer O'Neill was in Scanners, Summer of 42, Rio Lobo. She was Lady Bobby Rowan on Bare Essence. She is 67 today. Ivana Trump
Yes.
is having a birthday. She is 66 years today. Willie Garson, you know White Collar? You familiar with that TV show? He was on White Collar. He played Mozzie. He's the little guy who knows everything and he's into everything, but you can't trust him. All right, Mozzie is having a birthday, 51. Veronica Mars, you know that
Yes,
show?
I sure
Okay,
do.
you know the guy named Liam?
Yes.
He's Rodney Rowland. He's 51 today. French Stewart, Harry on Third Rock from the Sun,
Yeah.
a really weird guy. He has done so much work, it's just unreal. He's 51 today. Ron Eldard, I didn't know that was this guy's name, but do you remember the show called Blind Justice
Yes.
a few years ago?
I don't remember watching it,
He
but
was
I know the
a
name.
detective who was unsighted, who had the dog. It was a fantastic program. Fantastic program. And like so many good shows, they threw it out. Anyway, he is now on Justified. He plays Colt. He's 50 today. Birthday today for Cindy Crawford. She's 49. Andrew Shue is 48. He's Billy Campbell on Melrose Place. Lily Taylor, Sandra Maldonado on Almost Human. She's 48 today. Lauren Ambrose, Debbie Morgan in the miniseries Dig.
Don't know it.
Don't know it. Anyway, she's 37 today. And Miles Teller is in Whiplash. And Miles is 28 years today, just a baby.
Happy birthday.
Happy,
Oh.
and all that. All right? All right.
We're reminding you, you have some options just tonight. You have free jazz concert at the Arts Council of
That's
Wayne
right.
County from
That's right.
7 to 9. Free. Doesn't
Free.
cost a thing.
Doesn't cost a thing.
The Eric Xavier Band will be performing.
Yes, yes.
Then, of course, over at the Senior Center, didn't you all have the dances tonight?
Got the Rock in the 50s tonight.
Rock in the
Oh,
50s
yeah,
taking
baby,
place
baby.
tonight. Lots of stuff going
Rock
on.
and roll. Ow. All right. And stuff. There's a ton of stuff going on.
Always are.
Yes.
Always are.
Yes. And I can be counted on to throw paper.
Usually,
What else we
once
got?
a week.
Usually, yeah. And of course, the Senior Center and the Literacy Connection and the Veteran Services Office, which is open 5 days a week,
That's exactly right.
is going on constantly. And we got to go, we got to run, get ready for the weekend. Now, this show will repeat at 12 and then again at 5:30 this afternoon, and then it'll run over the weekend with all the entire week's program. So join us again Monday for Wayne Goldsboro Television. Until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.